Hi guys, quick question. How many times has your African parent ever said these words? I am sorry. Take a guess. Take a thought. In fact, take a whole day. Think about the time where your African parents actually had this apology given to you on a platter of gold. I mean, unfiltered, honest apology. I am sorry. I'll wait. Guys, today's topic is about diving into what actually hits home for many African children, for many Africans across the globe. I mean, the word I am sorry and African parents being allergic to these words. I need to dive into why this is so hard for African parents to do, as well as the reaction or the impact this has actually done on a lot of African children around the globe. First of all, we're going to look at how African parents actually apologize without apologizing. You know, when an African parent does something to you, and obviously they're supposed to tell you sorry, or they're saying, "Oh, sorry for this, da." But instead of that, they will ask you, "Have you eaten?" Or they'll just send you money out of the blue as a means of an apology, or they will just say, "Well, you know, I love you now. You know, I love you, and why are you angry? I'm just doing it because I love you," or something like that. Is that your apology? Why is it so hard for them to say the word I am sorry? I mean, it's just a simple word. It's just simple words that they could just say.
Yo, African parents are the shittest at apologizing. When it comes to saying they're sorry, they're crap. Nah, do you know what it takes for an African parent to say they're sorry to their child, bruv? Before them man say sorry to you, they're gonna have to go to church first, bruv. When they get to church, they're gonna speak to the senior deacon. Then the senior deacon is gonna refer her to the main pastor, fam. Just for the pastor to tell her to pray about it. Then she's gonna pray about it. She's gonna pray about it for 2 months. And when your parents are finally ready to say they're sorry, here's how they'll say it to you, bruv. Bamidele, are you hungry? Are you hungry? Do you want something to eat? If you come downstairs for me, I can make you very nice food for you.
And the funny thing is that if you ever expect them to say the words "I'm sorry," they will literally look at you like you just committed a crime. And I don't even understand it. Like, I genuinely don't understand why a parent cannot say. I can't even remember the last time my mom or my dad, back when I was growing up, I don't remember any of my parents actually telling me I am sorry for doing that, or for doing this, or for raising my voice at you, you know, those kind of things. And I feel like a lot of Africans can actually resonate with what I'm saying, where it's like so difficult for African parents to say the words I am sorry. This whole thing with African parents not saying the words I'm sorry, it kind of confuses peace offering with accountability, whereas it's not even supposed to be so. I believe that the more African parents don't actually say these words, it just leaves yes, I understand that you're trying to make me happy, but in that moment I need to hear those words. I need you to tell me you're sorry for actually hurting me, you're sorry for making me cry, you're sorry for like the things that you've done or you've said in the moment of your anger, because a lot of times you cannot take back those words, right? I have stumbled across so many instances, or there's so many instances in the past I have witnessed, I've seen, where an African parent has said something in the heat of the moment and those words actually sting, and instead of them to come and tell you, "Oh, I'm sorry that I said those things to you," they actually play it down or play it off by giving things that try to buy your forgiveness. I don't know whether to use the word buy forgiveness, because it's kind of like, too much, but it's like trying to appease you in a way. But why can't you just say those words, I am sorry, do you get? Or I'm sorry for hurting you, I'm sorry that I said those things, I didn't mean any of those things, I just said them out of anger at the moment. Why can't they just do that? Do you get what I mean? It's like they just don't realize that love without accountability, it actually leaves wounds. Like I said, when you say these things and you hurt someone's feelings or you hurt your child's feelings and you don't even come back to say, oh, I'm sorry that I spoke to you in that manner, it actually leaves wounds. Yes, you're going to appease them with food, yes, you're going to appease them with money, but then it still leaves those, resentment, it still leaves those wounds, because words can never be actually taken back. Like if you say something in the heat of the moment, you can't take it back, but then if you apologize for what you've said in the actual essence of what an apology is, I am sorry, it actually helps, or it just makes it a whole lot better.
One of the drawbacks of growing up with Nigerian parents is that nobody ever teaches you how to apologize. They don't really teach you how to take accountability, particularly if you are a child. Remember, there are massive cultural issues around how we treat children, whether we treat them with respect, whether we treat them as people. And so these crop up in our rearing, because if no one ever apologizes to you, what don't you learn how to do? Apologize. All we know is doing up random acts of kindness like cooking or cleaning or doing random things to show that we're apologetic because that's what we saw. So today I had an argument with my husband and I said to him, I'm really sorry I behaved like that. Like I acted really irrationally. And while I can't promise that I won't do that again, I can promise that I'm going to try my best not to repeat that behaviour. And when I finished apologising, I said, wow, Joy, who taught you how to do this? Who taught you how to apologise in this way? Because I've never seen it before. And what's really interesting about this whole thing is that we need our parents to teach us how to be functional. They socialise us. They teach us how to be human. And because of our rearing, some of us are doing adulthood all wrong. We're stubborn. We don't know how to take accountability. We don't know how to say, I was wrong, because we've never seen it done before.
In a lot of African homes, we are taught to move on from hurt, and without even processing it. A lot of times when parents hurt their kids, there is no room for healing. There is no room for, trying to process what has been said or trying to process what has been done. They just expect you to move on from that situation. And to be very honest, that's just very traumatic. It's just a very traumatic thing. And that's why a lot of people grow up to become very mean. A lot of people grow up to be very insensitive, because obviously that's the kind of lifestyle, that's what they're used to. That's the environment they grow up in. They grow up in an environment where an apology was not really given, or an apology was given but it wasn't given the way it should be given. There's right ways of doing things, to be honest. And I always say, however you are brought up actually shapes the kind of person that you become, like good or bad. Like the family, the home setting, it shapes how you, because that's the home is like literally the first point of contact, like the first school that anybody goes to. That home is where you learn a lot of things before you even go to school. So it's like you growing up and you see yourself in a family where your parents do not have that, that way of actually apologizing. It just makes you think that all that is normal. And then when you go into the society and you see people that were raised that their parents apologized to them, you'll be thinking that this one's okay. And I'm not even joking. Like it happens in our day, like in this day and age, where a lot of us have gone through so many traumatic experiences in our household, where it has shaped the way we think, it has shaped the way we act, the way we relate to people, and what we consider as normal. I'm going to unpack 4 reasons why I believe that African parents don't apologize. So the first reason here is pride and power dynamics. In a lot of African homes, parents are usually seen as, a symbol of authority, that person that can never be wrong, right? And it's mostly, they can never be wrong. They are the authority. They say something, you obey, and that's it. Case closed. And most of the time, when they say sorry, it's like lowering themselves to that childlike nature, and they often see it as a weakness, right? The reality of the matter is, it's not you being a weak parent. It's just you weakening your relationship with your child, because why would you feel like you telling your child sorry is you being a weak parent. Do you understand what I mean?
African elders, why is it that when you guys do something to your younger ones, you can't apologize to your younger ones? Or when you do something to your kids, you can't say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Why is that not feel they apologize?
I feel like they feel like it's like a child level. They're lowering themselves to the child's level to apologize. But it doesn't really make sense. Like, why would you think that you saying you're telling your child sorry lowers yourself to that level? But then this is one of the reasons why parents, I believe parents or African parents, find it so difficult to apologize to their kids. The second reason is generational trauma. Now, obviously, there is no handbook to parenting, and a lot of times what has been done in the past just transcends from like, let me say, this is a generation of parents. Parent A did the same thing to parent B. Like, parent A did the same thing to their children. Parent B is now doing the same thing to his child. Now parent C is doing the same thing parent A and parent B were doing. It now becomes a generational thing. It becomes a generational acceptable norm. It becomes a generational trauma where this one has laid down the rules and it's passed down to different generations where they feel like it's okay. My mother never did this to me. You know, this popular saying where my I did not kill my parents, you will not kill me. I mean, it's a popular saying, but let's just use it in this context where obviously what they did not do, or what their parents did, they just feel like it is normal. A lot of African parents were raised with survival method and not softness. There's nothing like that. It was survival method. There was nothing like soft parenting. It was either you do this or you get punished or you get humiliated, and at the end of the day you still have to respect your parents. Apology was not part of their vocabulary at the time, and many of them are just simply, doing what they were taught, doing what they saw was okay, and they're just passing it down from generation to generation. The next one on the list is cultural conditioning. So much, emphasis has been placed on obedience, has been placed on hierarchy, has been placed on saving face. Nobody wants you to come and disgrace them. Don't bring shame to this family. Don't do this, don't do that. That is a cultural conditioning of Africans, right?
It's the culture that prevents African parents from having genuine connections with their kids. There comes a point in your life where you no longer need a manager in your own household. Someone who's going to tell you what career path to choose. Someone who's going to try and dictate shit for you and tell you what to do and be so demanding of you, etc. But you also need a friend. You need someone who understands you, someone who you understand, someone who you can reason with and see eye to eye with. But you can never really get that out of an African parent because they're so respect and ego driven. Everything is like, I want my child to look up to me. I can never be level with them. I can never see them eye to eye. They're never going to be my friend because we're not the same age mates type of thing. And I feel like it's so backwards, and it's just like an endless cycle of BS. Because people always make the excuse as to like why your parents are so harsh on you, and they'll be like, oh, it's their first time living. So it's my first time living. It's my first time being in this exact situation right now. Why can't we just change with the times? Why can't it be when your youth is growing up, you're also like recognizing this and letting your guard down and putting your pride to the side, a bit, like slowly. I don't really understand this whole thing, because now when I look at like all my Caucasian brothers and I see these lot, and I'm like, okay, I know way more Caucasians who have better connections with their family and with their parents in comparison to African brothers. And I'm just thinking like it has to be the ego shit, bro. It has to be.
That a lot of times you do not question the adult. The adult cannot be wrong. You don't question the adult, and the adult cannot be, can never be wrong. Children don't question elders. When they are asked to do something, they go to do it. When the adult is wrong, the adult doesn't admit that they are wrong. Right, at least not in front of the child, okay? And admitting that they hurt you means that you have a right to feel hurt. This is not even seen or accepted in a culture that values order over emotion. Many of our African parents do not know how to process emotions because a lot of them were not taught the language of emotional repair. They were not even taught the language of softness. I feel like we are the generation that can heal this. We may not have gotten these apologies that we actually deserve, but we can actually give them. Now, one of the ways I feel like can break this cycle is for us to seek, therapy. Through therapy, through journaling, it can really go a long way to, like, pour out your feelings, and also, like, get the healing that you actually need. The way to break the cycle is be intentional with your words. Don't wait for peace to happen. You have to speak it, you have to say it. Another way to actually break the cycle is also by modeling what you want. So basically, modeling forgiveness, modeling apology, modeling it. So by modeling it, how do you do this? You model it by apologizing to your siblings, apologizing to your friends. By the time you do all this, it becomes a part of you, and when you start having kids, your kids see that you're actively modeling what you want them to emulate from you as well. Now, I always say this thing a lot of times, and I say it to my family back home, I say it to people that actually know me, like, kids have feelings, like children have feelings. You have to learn how to use your words when communicating with them, not necessarily shouting and be like, do this. Like, children have feelings. You can talk to them like you're talking to your friend. It's not every time that you have to raise your voice, and these things are things that we saw while growing up. We don't necessarily have to take it as we grow, and then as we begin to have our own kids, we don't necessarily have to use all those methods that, like, they feel like if you don't shout at somebody, like, I remember, oh my goodness, I remember sometimes I'll be like, why are you shouting? Like, why are you actually shouting? Because I mean, I can hear you. I heard you the first time, so why are you shouting? So I feel like these are things that we can, like, model exactly, healthy repairs, model healthy repairs that would help us and help our children in the future. You can reparent yourself, and you don't necessarily have to stay stuck in the silence. So guys, this isn't really an easy topic, but I believe it's a very necessary topic to have. I mean, some of us are 25, 30, 35, yet we are still carrying the pains of incidents or situations or things that our parents have done to us in the past, and we're carrying the pain simply because our parents never acknowledged these things back in the day, right? Or during the times that it happened, right? But today we get to say that wasn't okay and I deserve better. Guys, let's talk. Share in the comment section, has your parent ever apologized to you, or do you still wish they could? Now, let us know if this has affected how you show love, how you say sorry, or how you handle conflicts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I look forward to reading each and every one of your comments. Also, if you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Rilla Schwartz and I am the owner of this channel. I bring to you guys anything and everything that I feel like talking about, and I want to hear you guys' inputs. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button to be part of this amazing tribe. Looking forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Don't forget to stay safe and make good choices. Bye.